G'day guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Danny Bird. If you're new to the channel, welcome and I hope you consider subscribing. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. I do hope that my previous videos are helping you improve your golf game. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the way the lead knee, as a right-handed golfer, your left knee, moves in the swing. Now today's video was inspired by a ladies group coaching session that I gave. Now these are all brand new to golf beginner ladies. 6 of the 8 have never ever picked up a golf club before until this particular lesson. And we were working through, we've explained about the setup and so forth. And as we were making some golf swings, one of the ladies asked this question. I thought it was a great question. We do get asked quite regularly, especially for beginner golfers, but even the more advanced golfer could benefit from understanding this. How does the left knee work? What should it be doing? Now, we see players make some really big mistakes with the way that lead knee, that left knee works. And today we're going to be tackling it. Now, if you're one of these players that is struggling with distance loss, it's probably down to the way that knee is working. If you're struggling with hitting the golf ball straight, it's probably down to how that left knee is working. So we're going to be giving you guys a at-home drill that you can do for training, and we're going to give you some training drills that you can do at the driving range, all designed to help you improve that functionality of the lower body movement and get you hitting the golf ball better. So the mistake I tend to see with players, okay, we're going to look at the biggest one I see, and that's the left knee moving way too much inward in the backswing. So what do I mean by inward? Well, we see a player set up to the golf ball, and this left knee, they're trying so hard to move it in towards the center line of the body, as they may have been, told, or what they've potentially seen on TV, maybe misinterpreted what they've seen. The lower body now begins to sway, okay? Now from this position here, the upper body is going to do all it can to try to recenter and rebalance ourselves. So we're going to see a player getting into this position. Right leg buckled and bowed, upper body falling towards the target. And as they work down, they're going to find themselves falling back behind the golf ball, trying to make some form of contact. Does that look familiar? Is that something that potentially you yourself do? Or maybe you've got a playing partner that does it. Well, the left knee moving in such a way is going to reduce your ability to create power. It's going to reduce the ability to compress the golf ball, to create club head speed and ball speed. It's going to reduce your ability to control the club face. So all those things are going to impact and hinder how your golf shot comes out. So we want to be mindful that the left knee is going to be working inward, but in a particular way. The second, and it's a bit less common, but it certainly does happen, is we see players with their lead knee trying really hard not to move it at all. So they get themselves into their setup position. There's flexion in both of the knees here. They're trying really hard not to move this knee. Now, again, this is just as bad as it kicking in too much. Okay? I won't go through all the things that occur, but it's pretty much, if you think about the way that it goes in, well, if it stays too far out, you're going to get pretty much the same results. What do we want to see? How should this knee be moving? Well, very simply, if we think about it and I ask you guys to think about this in such a simple term. I've got my 7-iron here and I'm setting up to hit my golf ball. All I want is for my lead knee to feel like it's going to be working towards the golf ball. But more importantly, as I look down, if I were to get to the top of my backswing, as I look down, my lead knee, the edge of my lead knee, if I were to put a golf club down, should be able to touch the lead foot with the grip there, okay? Really simple. So I stick that on the outside of my lead knee there. Grip's touching the lead foot, I'm into a good spot, okay? Push in too much of a gap. Don't push in at all, and I can't get the club into position. So that's a really super simple checkpoint for you to make sure that we're into the correct spot. By the lead knee moving into this direction, where it pushes in, so towards the golf ball, inside of the left foot here, I'm going to now have my pressure shifting slightly to my right side, but it's going to enable me and allow me to still be mobile enough to turn in my backswing, but also ensure that I don't fall back towards my target. So as I'm working into my backswing position here, my knee working correctly, I'm now turning back, my pressure shifts slightly behind the golf ball, I'm building up all this power, and I now have the ability to work down and through. And as you notice there, as I work down into my downswing, this lead knee is going to be moving back to go over the top of the left foot there, and then down and through. So now you understand how the knee should be moving. How do we go about training it to make sure that it's working in the correct way? Okay, so for my at-home players, this is one of those drills that would be handy if you do have access to a den caddy. If you don't quite have access to a den caddy, then an old cart bag or staff bag can work if laid on the ground. But this is one of my favorite drills to help players learn to control the way that lead knee works. So what we're going to do, I have my den caddy here and I've got my indoor training club. I'm going to take my setup here with my 7-iron, so as if I was setting up to hit a full golf shot. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do is, as you hang your golf ball, I want you to hang it from sort of the center line, so the shirt buttons that I have in my shirt here. And what I want is approximately 2/3 of the den caddy to your trail side here, okay? So when you look at the camera here, there's a small gap between my trail foot and the den caddy, and there's a slightly larger gap, or one club head width approximately, between the lead foot and the den caddy. This is important. We need the space for the knee to be able to move. But as you see here, as I'm standing with my knees just in front of the back edge of the den caddy. So I'll turn it around for you guys to see here. So we're going to set ourselves back up again. So as you see here, my knees are just in line with just in front of the back end of the den caddy. This is important as well. It's important we get everything into the correct spot. So what we're going to do is, from our setup position here, we just simply want to make some backswings where this lead knee is going to push into the den caddy, okay? Simple as that. If I push my knee too much, I'm going to knock the caddy over. If I don't push my knee enough, well, I'm not going to touch the den caddy at all. So very, very simple, provided that you take your time and get this into the correct spot, and we're not rushing. This is for 5 minutes, so just take a couple of minutes to set up and then give yourself 5 minutes each day. For that 30-day period, as I often advocate, we can get very, very functional and very, very good at moving that lead knee in, okay? And yes, you will notice here that it is slightly pushing the den caddy over, and that's what we want. I don't want to knock the caddy over, but I am going to apply a small amount of pressure. And the reason being, well, the size of my den caddy, in order to not hit it, I'd have to set up with a stance that's far too wide. So it's important that we get that correct. And this would be the same as if you were using an old cart bag. Lay it on the ground, but instead of actually making contact, what you'd be looking for is, if we were to just, we'll put this down here, is as we work the left knee in, we're just trying to make sure that it moves to be just over the edge of the bag and then to the top of the backswing, okay? We don't want the knees to be moving too far in. So for at-home drills, if you have access to a den caddy, this is great. If not, use a cart bag. 5 minutes a day for 30 days. Just simply swinging to the top of your backswing, watching how your knee works in, come back down into impact, make some swings, and you're going to see by the time you do get to the driving range and you do get to hit some golf balls, that lead knee is moving far more functionally. But for those of you who want to go to the driving range, how do we train? Let me show you. Okay, so my at the driving range players, very simple. This can be done with a basket, usually an empty basket, a rucksack if you carry a backpack with you, or I've got my GC quad bag here. So very simple. What we're going to do is place an alignment stick, which is going to be angled at a height that I can simply stand over the top of and have the alignment stick position between my legs. And what we're going to do is, when we look down, we want to basically have that one club head width from the lead foot and the alignment stick in line with that. Okay, that's our setup position to get this in the correct spot, okay? And push it far enough back that you're not going to be hitting it with the golf club on the way back and through. Then what we're going to do from here is very simply get into our setup position. I want you guys to swing to the top and pause and just watch how that knee's moving, okay? We want to be able to have it just gently move in and touch the alignment stick. Now again, this is a drill that I would advocate video yourself doing, okay? Video yourself from front on, because then you can see how far the lead knee's moving in, if it's pushing on the alignment stick too much and knocking it around, or if it's just making the appropriate amount of movement. Then we're going to be trying to hit some golf balls, okay? So we might do a couple of dummy swings where we just simply swing to the top, check, pause, lower the arms down, bring the club through to impact, ensure the face is square, do those things correctly and precisely. And then we'll try to get ourselves just to hit a golf ball. But what we're going to do is we're going to go at half speed. Maybe even pause at the top and just do a long chip shot, just to really focus on the lead knee. Again, this is not about the outcome to begin with. So we get ourselves into our setup position, make sure everything looks fine there, swing to the top, pause, check my lead knee, yep. and then down and through. And if you do it correctly, you'll find that your trail leg will work its way through and it will hit the alignment stick as well. Now, once you get that into the setup position and you work through, I would advocate for at least the first half of the session, focus solely on the movement, maybe just hit a few long chip shots, and then towards the back end of the session, start to ramp up that club speed and try to hit some fuller shots. But again, if you can, video yourself. If you do video yourself, you're going to see the progress you're making, or lack of if there is some struggles there, but you can then action that to become better and to make sure you're training effectively, because there's nothing worse than wasting your time at the training ground. So there you have it, guys. A couple of very simple, easy ways to train the correct movement of that lead knee. And I promise you, if you can get that correct, you're going to find your ball striking improve quite significantly. I've seen it in person with many of my students who come to the coaching block. So don't disregard how that knee works, because it could be costing you the ability to hit some great golf shots. Guys, as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch today's video. I really do hope my videos are helping your golf game improve. And if they are, please make sure you give the videos a thumbs up. Every little thumbs up we get, every like that I receive, helps that video get pushed further out through YouTube, which then helps the channel grow. If the channel begins to grow, it gives me time to create more free content and hopefully help more golfers just like yourself. If you have a question about today's video, please feel free to leave a comment. As you'll see in all my previous videos, if you leave a comment, I will get back to you. And those comments that I put back are personal from me, so I will get back to you. It might be about today's video. It could be a golf question in general. If I can get the answer for you, I absolutely will. If you know someone that's struggling with their golf game that perhaps needs some help, please feel free to share the video with them. It might be a friend, a family member, or maybe just a playing partner that you spend some time with on the weekends. If you haven't already, I do ask that you consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do subscribe, make sure you hit that little bell, because that will get you notified when the videos get released. 2 videos per week at the moment, hopefully helping you guys improve your game. Until next time, happy golfing.